welcome back to another episode of Techsheck, where we continue to uncover and unpack what's going on in the Pakistan tech startup ecosystem. Today, I have the fortune of bringing somebody who's trying to shed light on the situation there and bring some positive action. I'd like to welcome Ed Sattar, the founder of IEC, and when he's not busy supporting causes, guess what he's doing? He's helping VCs get funded with EdTech, and he's a workforce transformation consultant. And I'd like to introduce Bilal Tareen, his executive director on the ground. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show.
Pleasure to having us on the show.
Well, let's just jump right in. What we do here at Techsheck is get right to the meat of the matter. So Ed, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about IEC.
I've spent over a couple of decades. My EdTech venture journey started in 2000, and bootstrapped a company. So when you start something, I've done it all: instruction design to admissions to writing curriculums and building e-learning standards, EdTech standards. To fast forward 22 years, now have a part of a venture fund called Moneta Ventures. We have about, I believe, with the third fund, about 160 million in funding and about across 40 portfolio companies. And I have another fund which that's where I really enjoy, is building organizations and building people. I have a fund called it's an EdTech venture, so Venture Studio, which has about 8 EdTech companies. One of them is IEC, which is a nonprofit. The 7 of them are for-profit organizations.
Brilliant. Well, good stuff. So I guess I'm really intrigued also, because it's very Pakistan focused, on IEC. So Bilal, tell us a little bit about what's going on with IEC and what are you doing with it in Pakistan?
Thank you for the introduction as well. So, Institute of Emerging Careers has this vision to transform the lives of youth in Pakistan so they could support themselves and they could change their livelihoods. And we are trying to achieve that by introducing cutting-edge 21st century digital skills. So far we have introduced 6 digital courses, starting off with UX design, data analytics, web development. Now we have introduced blockchain technology, cloud computing, and cybersecurity. So far we have a student base of around 300 active students who are completing these courses. We have graduated 2 cohorts, and we are trying to place them in the job market. Some of them have already gotten jobs, and we have graduated around 50 plus students. So they are in the job market. They are supporting themselves, they are earning, and they are also trying to contribute so that the flywheel of IEC continues to grow. So we have this model that once the student is placed in the job market, so that student has this moral responsibility to pay back so that we could support another student like him or herself. So we have students coming from all over Pakistan. We have students from Gilgit, Azad Jammu Kashmir, Quetta, Lahore, and Karachi, and interior Sindh as well. So
Excellent.
that's a quick introduction of Institute of Emerging.
Excellent. And so where are you pulling and putting together the curriculum from? How does that all work?
Yes, so we have leveraged already existing digital channels. So we are using courses from Coursera. So we are tweaking them a bit, and we are complementing them with our professional development courses. So we are not only focusing on their tech skills, but along with their tech skills, we are building them professionally as well. So we have our own curriculum built around communication skills, CV writing, resume building, and how to sell their work, how to sell their product. So we are leveraging all of these tools.
Excellent, excellent. So, what is the kind of the, I know you, when did this initiative start and what are the goals?
Ed mentioned that Ed, along with other board members, so they started thinking about it in 2020, and we brainstormed it. How do we operate it? So it was only in February 2021 when we actually started building the team, and in July 2021 we inducted our first cohort, and now we are in the process of inducting our fifth cohort.
Excellent.
So, yeah, so Farooq, I'd be happy to take that question. Just what was the vision?
Sure.
What's the mission behind this, right? So, I've been employing people in various companies out of Pakistan since 2002, right? 2001, 2002. And one of the things that I learned in the last 20 years, it was that that talent is not country centric or geocentric, right? Talent is everywhere. Now, how do you have an ecosystem and a culture and or education system in how how do you really cultivate and build that talent, right?
Sure.
That's what separates really from thriving countries and emerging countries from non-emerging countries. So one of the things that I noticed that in our education system, what we lacked was um, is the ability to do critical thinking. So it's and number two, leadership, and number three, quality.
Right.
So quality, having that critical thinking, how to do problem solving, and usually that's one of the key competency identifiers in a lot of the peoples that I typically hire. But in Pakistan, it's so low, in the talent in Pakistan is so low that it's almost, to me, it's non-existent, right?
Right.
And a lot of it depends on how people are being tested, right? So the talent in Pakistan are very good at memorization, right? It's the overall culture, like the Hifz culture, that memorization of Quran culture, just like how people will always learn based on how they're being tested on the outcome. So if the outcome is to test your memory, you will work hard to memorize it, right? That is the archaic legacy education system, that is still in play. And can you imagine in US, SAT is now becoming obsolete.
Yep.
This is how the changes are happening right here.
Right.
So we're still stuck with a 100-year-old education system. So that's one of the reasons, that was the mission behind how can we introduce, build people's critical thinking, leadership skills, and get them to be very quality centric. Those are your soft skills that are really hard to build, but then we also give them hard skills that are technical skills. So that was kind of the mission behind it.
That's fantastic. That's a great way to approach it. And I think we definitely need more and more of that injection of that, I guess, the change.
Yeah, so everything that we do profit here in the US, right? In the US, I just took that whole model, the technology, the platform, all that, and just replicated that for the underprivileged. And we have several other co-founding members that got behind the mission and pushing forward.
That's fantastic. Well, gentlemen, one thing you do know about Techsheck is we try to keep it really brief. So my last question, Ed, I'd like you to take this one. What can diaspora do to help you with your efforts?
So really, I think spreading the word as that I just read an article, or a video rather, that there was this talented young lady in a really, really small little village area that went to Habib University, and one of the most talented people, and now she's speaking English, and we're really very talented. So how can we get more word out there so that we could filter out that type of talent that is very hungry, driven, so we can embed them into our system and cultivate their talents so they could do some wonderful things.
No, that's really good. Very, very helpful. And really happy to see missions like this continue to sustain themselves in Pakistan. Hopefully, they're going to continue to balloon. And our purpose here at Techsheck is to make sure that these missions are highlighted and you get more people involved. So with that, first of all, I wanted to thank you, Ed. Thank you, Bilal, both for being on the show. Really appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Farooq. Thanks for having us.
It's our pleasure. And to our audience, as you can see, our 4th season, over 120 episodes. Guess what? We're not stopping anytime soon. There's plenty of stories to be told. And we look forward to continuing to have you as a subscriber. Please share and like our concept. That helps us continue to grow. And I bid you all on that. Allah Hafiz.